What is up, guys? It is your boy T Macaroni coming back at you live with another deck profile for Union Arena. And today, by popular request, because you guys love DMing me about what decks to build, and we have Gone and Friends. So this is my personal baby. I really enjoy this deck. I wanted to play a more aggressive style of Hunter because the Phantom Troop can be kind of controlly. But I just wanted to turn off brain and just go straight to face. So this deck does exactly that. It's a very aggressive deck. A lot of the times you are swinging big damage with impact and forcing your opponents to trade unfavorably, and then you can just churn out advantage by doing all of that. But without getting too lengthy into it, let's dive into the profile. But if you guys like what I'm doing, as always, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me. We are at 90. We are 10 away from the big 100, and I got something special for the big 100. So make sure you guys share with your friends and do all of that, and make sure you guys get this out, because I want to hit 100 subscribers by the end of next month. So that's my goal, so I am gunning for it. Anyways, without any further dilly-dallying, let's get straight into it. So to start off, as per usual, we are going to start off with a zero cost. So the first zero cost I will be running is the Zeppeli. Draw a card and place one card from your hand into the sideline. Nothing special here. It provides one energy. It is a 15 and it has in trigger to draw a card. Just good early turn plays. The next card we are running is the zero cost Gone Freaks. Just because obviously this is a primarily Gone focused deck, we need to be running raid targets, and that's pretty much what that Gone is. The next card we are running is the Mito. So Mito has a very interesting on play of being able to give something on the board plus 1000 BP until end of turn, and then it has that lovely active trigger where we can give something plus 3k. So just overall good value. The next card that we are running is the 1 cost 1 Bounce Leorio. Just being able to generate 2 energy as soon as turn 1 if you're going second is just overall good value. And then we follow that up with the Kurapika. So that is the 2/1 Kurapika that says if a character with 5000 or more BP is on your field, this character gains impact 1. So this is a 3k impact 1 in a lot of situations, but this can also be a 4k or potentially a 5k impact 1 with some other cards that we will mention in the list a little bit later. The next card we're going to be running, and this is probably one of the most key cards in the list because this card will just win you games. It is the 3/1 Killua Zoldyck. So let's read this card together because there is a lot, so we want to make sure you guys understand it. So this character is not affected by BP reducing effects. That first line is huge. But we do have more stuff on this. Activate main once per turn. If this character has 4000 or more BP, you can switch it to active. And then activate main, you switch it to resting. Choose up to one character with 1500 or more BP on your opponent's field. It loses 1000 BP until the end of turn. So that secondary effect is pretty good, being able to minus something. Let's say they have a 1500 on board, you can bring it down to 500. That is pretty sweet. But that first line of text not being able to be affected by BP reducing, if you are going against Chloro Phantom Troop, if you're going against Bleach, for example, their strategy revolves all around getting BP low. Outside of Getsuga Tensho, that's what they're trying to do. That's their whole game plan. And if you slam down a couple of these Kaluas on board, you are just eaten nice. I was able to play a game against Phantom Troop, and I just won the matchup just because of this card not being able to BP reduce it, and them not having direct removal just easily steamrolls the game in your favor. You always have a guaranteed blocker, and being able to reduce things off the board so you can get it into your threshold for your removal is just key. Very good card. I wish I could run it more. I might tweak the ratio here a little bit because if those decks get popular, you want to bring this up, but I still feel like 2 is good enough to see it because we do have searchers and draw power. But at 2, I think that's the sweet spot for now. So continuing on the 3/1 slot, we have the Kurapika. If you have 6 or more energy generation, this character gains plus 1000 BP. Just a good 2 energy, big body that you can push up and provide some early game damage. The next card we're going to look at is the Oreo. Just having that same active trigger, and then it is a 3-1 just with energy. Same thing as Kurapika, it is just a good card overall, but it's a deck list called Gone Friends without Gone himself. So the first one we're running is the 3-1 Gone Freaks. If this character has 4000 or more BP, it gains Impact 1, and then it has that lovely active trigger. So this is a very good tool in this deck, just being able to be at 4000 and gain Impact. You will see a lot of the times people like to try to block out early and like prevent damage and stuff like that, and this just says, hey, I'm getting my swings in, man. And on a 3-1, that is good. Usually we do not want to raid over this, but if a worst case scenario we have to, you know, we just have to. It do be like that, but usually that's not what we're wanting to raid over. We're wanting to raid over the 0 Gones, and potentially another one that I will talk about a little bit later. So speaking of raid, we're going to go into one of our big raid targets, and it's the 4-1 Gone Freaks. So it is obviously a raid character, but when played and when attacking, choose up to 2 characters on your field. They gain each gain 1000 BP until end of turn. So not only can this buff itself, but it can also buff our other targets, such as the Gone Freaks that we just mentioned, such as the Kurapika. It can also boost anything on our board, like the Kilua, for example, so we can get that minus 1000 on something. So this Gone Freaks does put in a lot of work in the early to mid game. Just a very good raid target that you want to see, so you can get to those BP thresholds. I would be running it at 4. The only reason I'm not running at 4 is just because we have 2 other cards that I want to talk about, and I just feel like you kind of have to run them, one of them more so than the other. So the first one we're going to talk about is Oreo. So Oreo is a house of a card. So once per turn, when this character is attacked and it's not blocked, you get to draw a card, and then you can activate main, pay 1 AP, and this character gains 1500 BP and Impact 1. And then as the other Oreo has that lovely active trigger on it for shenanigans when it comes to the blocking step. But the fact that this is able to not only gain resources just by being able to draw cards, paying the 1 AP, you will see a lot of times in this deck, you will find that you have extra AP just because you don't. You have to be very efficient with this deck. This deck relies on proper sequencing and knowing what your opponent is playing, so that you can know when to press for damage or when to stay back a little bit, or go all out on those combo turns, because there are a lot of good combos that you can do in this deck. But having the extra 1 AP sometimes, just being able to go, all right, I'm going to use my first AP, give Oreo plus 1500 and Impact, turning him into a 5k, and then using the AP resetter to get back and then raid going. Now you have a 6k swinger with Impact 1, which it seems like overkill, but it is pretty huge. So I believe I'm only on 2 on this, just because like I said, top end is great, but we don't want to be bricked up too much. So this is still a good card. Sometimes that 1 AP can be taxing, but it definitely has its positives. And to round out the deck, probably the best going in the deck by far, and it's no surprise to anybody who played the Hunter deck during the release event, we are running the 5-1 Gone Freaks. Just being able to flat out give everything on your board plus 1k, plus on Impact as well, so you get a 5k Impact 1, and you could have potentially a full board of Impact, depending on the scenarios here. Card is amazing, honestly. There's not much to say. If you played in the pre-release events, the super pre-release events, I should say, you know how powerful this card is. Easily the best card in the deck, bar none. And then to round out, we're going to go into our events. So the first event we are playing is Photo of Ging, being able to look at top 5, reveal 1 character among them and add it to hand, and then place the remaining to the bottom of deck. And if you was a Gone Freaks that you added to hand, you get to draw an additional card, and then it has a draw trigger. So initially, I was in this slot. I was running the 2-1 Gone. I was actually playing 4 of the 2-1 Gone that allows you to look for a friend of Gone. So whether it be the Leorio, the Killua, or the Kurapika. But I found that a lot of the times you would bottom deck the Gones themselves, and that's not what you want to do because you need them to raid over. So I decided to flip the script and put in the photo of Jing again, just being able to dig 5 deep and getting a Gone that you would need and getting an extra draw. So you basically get to go +1 with this card. Very solid. I like it at 2. Maybe would go up to 3. Maybe cut back down on one of the double energy or one of the Gone freaks that gives impact when he's at 4k. Maybe come down on 1 and bump this up, but that is up to you as always. These deck builds are always a baseline for what to build. The next two events, I don't need to talk about them too much. Any deck that you play in Union Arena, you need to be running your special triggers, and in this case, we're probably running one of the best for this deck in Fishing Rod. So Fishing Rod is a 3-1 that you get to choose one character on your opponent's front line with BP equal or less than the highest BP of characters on your field and return it to hand. If Gone is on the board, you get to sunlight it instead. So just good removal. I don't know what to say about it, man. Just solid card overall. And then to round it out, we have our Hunter's License. AP resetters are huge, and just running 4 final triggers is always the play. Never more, never less. Wish could be more, but we'll see how the game progresses. Here's the deck list, guys. Nothing too surprising here. Only thing is you could maybe play around with the ratios a little bit to your liking. Maybe you can come down on 1 Mito. Maybe cut the 2 photo of Jing for the 2 cost Gone if you do like that card. But as always, guys, it is up to you and what you like. So that is going to be it from me. I'm your boy T Macaroni. Make sure you guys check out my other videos. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. We are almost at 100. Thank you as always for all the supporters and all that and all the kind words. So that is going to be it from me. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you